Hello everyone, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I was heavily inspired by Christmas. I don't know what it was because I wasn't even doing anything Christmas related while I was building this. I was actually watching Jurassic Park, but for some reason when I was looking at inspiration pictures on Pinterest, I just kept gravitating towards those like winter painted scenes where there's like it's all woodsy, like snowy woods, and there's like this one house like way in the back of the picture with like the light beaming down on it. And I was like, I just kept seeing all of those pictures pop up and I was like, you know, I really kind of just want to build one of those in The Sims. And then I was thinking about, you know, the whole over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go, that little rhyme and song thing. And I recently lost my grandfather. I posted about it on Twitter about a month ago, and so I've been thinking a lot about my grandmother, and we were just looking through some pictures, so I thought I would do kind of like pay homage to them and then also like pay homage to the song and at the same time make it Christmassy and festive. And yeah, so this is what I came up with. It is a little similar to some of the other builds I have on my channel, but I think the interior is pretty different. I use Nifty Knitting, which I haven't used in a while. Like when it first came out, I was all like, yes, give me Nifty Knitting, this stuff is awesome. And it is, like the items we got in it are great. It's just, it's so specific to that pack. I find it really hard to like make things up for it to go with, so I was really happy that I was able to use it. Of course though, the grandmother for this house does knit. Now, like I said, I was taking some inspiration from my grandmother. My grandmother does not knit, but my grandmother is obsessed with winter. And everywhere you go in her apartment that she lives in now, that she has like these snowmen, like she collects snowmen, she loves snowmen, and she has like these snowmen out all year round. She has her Christmas decorations up all year round. Like think about how obsessed I am with fall that you guys know of from my previous videos. That is her, but for winter. And so I thought that it would be kind of fitting, so I do place a couple of snowmen around and I have like holiday decorations all over the place, but it's not too much. It's a very subtle nod to winter. I also wanted to start doing a couple more, you know, winter Christmassy builds on my channel because it is coming up to that time of the year. And I do have a special video coming out on Friday that I'm excited to share with you guys. So it's a collab video, so I was trying to kind of get my channel to a more Christmassy vibe for when I uploaded that video with the collab that I'm working on. So I wanted to kind of, like I said, yeah, just kind of direct my channel in that direction. Now, I mean, of course, this has been the only other build this week that is winter themed. I do plan on doing more after the collab. Now that I've talked up a big game, I have just not had the time to build anything. I've been really busy, but I can only use that excuse for a little bit longer. So as you all know, some things are still really rough in the United States in terms of what's going on in the world, and my state did just add a whole bunch of new regulations. So I did just lose my job. It won't be for too long. The restaurant is just closing down for about a month. Well, that's how long we think the new restrictions are going to last. Obviously, if they last longer, then the restaurant will stay closed longer, but we're pretty sure they're going to reopen places in January at the start of the new year. We think they're just scared about holiday parties and people having large gatherings, so which totally makes sense. So I will have about an extra, like a month of extra time running around, so I'm going to try and start doing like bigger, better builds for you guys. I also want to know if you guys are interested in seeing anything else on my channel, like if you want to do like 100 baby challenge or the not so berry challenge or like one of those, like a gameplay challenge, or if you want me to, I know a lot of you want me to bring back the baking or the cooking with the Sims, and I'm going to, I promise, but I don't know if I'm going to do it in December because there isn't a lot of winter themed food in the Sims. And I don't want to just start cooking these like random objects that make no sense for what's going on in like my life or your guys' lives. And so I think I might do the winter cake the last week of December, and then starting in January I'm going to do cooking. So look forward to that. I am though going to have a lot of time on my hands, so I'll probably do baking in my own time. So I'll probably be posting pictures of it on my socials. but I don't think I'm going to bring back that series until the start of the new year because I have to do some planning. And like, it's not just like on a whim that I do these things. I have to sit down and I have to make sure I have all the ingredients for everything. So yeah, I hope you guys don't mind, but stay tuned for Cooking with the Sims starting January, or the first week of January. I'm not going to say January 1st because I don't know what day of the week that is, and I'm pretty sure those videos are going to go up on Sundays. But yeah, so let me know if with this extra free time, if you guys want to see some gameplay challenges on my channel or like a let's play. I haven't started playing with the Folk family yet, so if you remember them, they were the lovely couple that adopted their nieces. So if you want to see that let's play, I can go ahead and do that, or we can make up something else on our own. Just let me know. But anyway, now we are on into the interior. So like I said, I do place a couple of snowmen around just to pay homage to my grandmother, and then I'm placing a whole bunch of clutter and like pictures around because my grandmother has, like I said, we were just going through her pictures the other day, and she has so many pictures, although none of them are of me, and I'm actually very salty about it. So my mom has almost the exact same set of pictures, and my mom has ones that obviously I'm included in with like the rest of the entire family, but when it came to giving them to my grandma, I guess she never got any of the ones with me in them. So there's literally pictures that you can put side to side. They're the same day that they were taken, like they're taken the same day. Everyone's in the same outfits, and just my grandma has all the ones that I don't exist in. And I was so like upset. I was like, why doesn't she have any pictures of me? Because like I don't take any pictures of me now because I don't have time, and B, it's just not something that I do that regularly anymore. So I was really hoping that she just had all these pictures, but she was talking to me, and she was going through pictures on her own after my grandfather died, and she was talking to me, and she was like, I never get any pictures of you, Emily. Oh my God, why are you so afraid of being in front of the camera? And I was like, oh, Mom, you have pictures of me from when I was like a kid. Just look at those. And then when we were looking through all the pictures, she really doesn't actually have any pictures of me as a kid. So I'm going through, and my Christmas present to her is going to be taking a whole bunch of photos with this time I have off and kind of setting up a little frame for her and some different things so that she can have a whole bunch of pictures of me. So I'm excited to give her that. I think she'll really enjoy it. But anyway, we are into the interior, which I think I already said, but I'm repeating it anyway. And this is the downstairs bathroom. So the grandmother's room is on the downstairs floor, and then there's like a small upper level where the kids' room is. I figured that's where the kids would stay when they came over for grandma's house, obviously for the holidays. And I thought about putting a Murphy bed so that the parents had somewhere to stay, but honestly I didn't have a good place to put it. So the parents don't have any space in this house. I thought maybe they could like live in town, or maybe the grandma doesn't live that far away, so the kids just come up here for like a weekend in the holiday season or something. But going through, I do clutter up the kitchen counters quite a bit. I leave one counter open, obviously, for functionality, and as you can see, I am placing some knitting stuff around. I did think that this grandmother knitted, and I also placed some garden boxes outside. Now, obviously, it's winter time, so you can't really garden anything. I mean, there are winter plants, but I definitely thought that, like, in the spring, she had her own little garden. And I am about to add a rug, but I also add a circular table back here that only has 3 seats. So that's the other reason why I thought that maybe the parents didn't come up here, was because there's only, at every table, I don't put enough seats for everyone to sit at. So I thought that it was definitely like weekend excursions over the river and through the woods. But up here I'm placing some pictures, some frames of animals. I don't use this object that often because I don't really like how, like, it just doesn't make any sense. I wish that we had ones of individual animals, like there was like entire frames of cats, entire frames of dogs, and then one of mixed, because if you're doing like a crazy cat lady build or something like that, they wouldn't have dog pictures. So I feel like for storytelling it'd be much better if we had one that was just straight cats and one that was just straight dogs. But I also put that university like board, I want to say it is. It's almost like a shelf, but it's called Displays of Affection, and I thought maybe that those were, she like hung up cards that her grandchildren had made her, and she keeps them right above the table because she spends a lot of time in the kitchen. But over here in the grandma's bedroom, I started with putting a fireplace here because I don't actually know why. I think it's because I had this extra space, and initially I was going to do a closet, and then I realized that if I put the bed the other way, you couldn't walk past it, and then it didn't make any sense for the closet to be back there if, like, there wouldn't be enough space. I don't know. I just didn't think a closet would be really like a good idea. So I do place the dresser here, and then when I started placing all of the nifty knitting stuff, I remember that we had desks that came with nifty knitting, so I do end up adding one of these desks here, and I put the knitting bag underneath of the desk because your sim just needs to be able to put that in their inventory, so I didn't really think it'd be that big of a deal if it was just kind of tucked underneath. And then I'm placing a couple more of the knitting decorations around before we go into the living room. I had to move a couple of the trees because they were merging into the house, so don't mind my camera acting a little weird there. But here is where I do end up actually placing the fireplace, because I did have a chimney up top, so I thought it'd be really awkward if I didn't have a fireplace at all in this entire build. So I do place the fireplace here, and this is the one from Parenthood, and I used the Seasons rock from behind, the same one that I used on the front of the house to do the wall behind the fireplace. I like making the walls behind the fireplaces different patterns. I've been trying to play around with using different patterns in general during my builds, because I usually find myself getting stuck with just using like one wallpaper for the entire house. But it's also more traditional to do one paper for the entire house, which is why, I mean, for this build in particular, that's why I stuck with it, because I definitely thought that the grandma had had this house for quite a while. But I'm using the nifty knitting couches and chairs, and you can kind of tell that I was going with a little bit of a brighter color scheme. I thought the grandma was really fun and had like bright colors. That's why I made the bed that really bright and beautiful quilt that we got from Cats and Dogs. And I'm adding a couple of like extra items around that have a lot of color in them, and I was going to try and use the pastel colors for these couches, but I just really didn't like how they looked with the wood that I was using, and so I decided just to go with the red. But it's still like a pop of color because it is still red, and there's the blues and the yellows, so I hope that you guys don't mind that I decided to use that one. And then over here, I was initially going to place that vintage glamour picture because I thought maybe it was a picture of the grandma when she was younger, but then I decided against it. I was like, no, because it doesn't really match the vibe, so I do end up just placing lamps on either side of the fireplace. And then I also believe I add a mirror, the Parenthood mirror, I place it above the fireplace as well. And then over here I put a cat tree, and then I also forgot that I needed a litter box, so I go back into the bathroom and place a litter box, in there. And then over here I wanted to do a little something for the kids, so I didn't think she'd have too many activities for them, but I definitely thought that it was like a fun weekend at Grandma's house, so they always had something to do, so I wanted to add a couple. So I get this activity table down here. It's one of the drawing ones, and then upstairs I do a little seating area for the kids, but we'll see that when we get up there. And I was trying to find something to put on the walls here, but nothing was fitting, so I think I end up just leaving it blank and moving on to another corner because I couldn't get anything to fit on that little teeny tiny wall, and it was really frustrating. So I add a plant over here, and then another one of those tiny living pictures because these just look so cozy. It's like the fox and like the scarf around them, and then upstairs I think I get like the sitting fox. And these pictures to me honestly don't make any sense with the tiny living pack. I think that these made a lot more sense with nifty knitting, which is odd because I'm pretty sure, like, some people might say that it was supposed to be an Easter egg, but Nifty Knitting was a voted pack, was like a community voted pack, and I'm pretty sure we were voting on them after Tiny Living came out. I mean, I could be wrong. We could have been voting on them like right before Tiny Living came out, and so they added those swatches as a hint to what Nifty Knitting would have been. But I'm pretty sure we voted afterwards, so they wouldn't have known that Nifty Knitting was the pack that we were supposed to be getting. So I'm not quite sure why they put those in there, but there's a couple swatches that really match the aesthetic of Tiny Living, like the plant ones. Really just the plant ones. The plant ones match perfectly, and then all the other ones are like these coffee mugs, and I feel like they're just so homey and cozy, and the Tiny Living is almost more of like a modern vibe. I don't know. I might be the only one who thinks that. But anyway, this is the little seating area I was talking about. So I use these hamster like beanbag chairs, and then I put the Void Critter play thingy there, kind of like Battleship. That's how I always explain it. It's kind of like the Battleship game. And then upstairs is just another bathroom. I figured that this was just for the kids when they came over. It's kind of small, but it fits everything that you would need. And then adding a couple more of those Tiny Living pictures. And then going outside, like I said, I do give her a couple of planters and then just a couple of seating area objects. But besides that, that is it for this build. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!